Hey, glad you could make it to another video. Yeah, you're probably wondering why you're getting a full video when I said last Monday that I would be out of town. Well, see, the thing is that nothing could hold Wallows back, and not even the excruciating boredom of a 19-hour drive. And I totally might have lied my ass off and never went anywhere in the first place. My bad. But good news is that we got some new Pierre Bourne with his latest project, TLOP 6. Oh, my bad, I meant good movie, being filled with some classic Pierre Bourne production and some catchy tunes, although not sitting on the same scale as his previous projects, but still able to make for a end of the summer banger. Alright, so I'm gonna be honest, this isn't really any better than TLOP 5 or 4. I would say this project's more like the bare minimum for a solid Pierre project, not really holding the same weight that his previous albums did when it comes to overall energy and delivery. But I guess if there's one thing that stays on par, is the rapping on this project being embarrassingly goofy with some of the most corniest bars I've heard from Pierre, like stacking cheese like a McDouble and Nashville cause you're the only 10 I see. Like, my nigga, the McDouble only comes with one slice of cheese, so what the hell are you stacking? But aside from that, this project is just very bloated, going over an hour with repetitive, although catchy, tracks stretching out for 3 to 4 minutes when most of these could have been cut down to like 2.5 at most. And don't get me wrong, I like Pierre's music, but when it comes to this project, it feels so lackluster, only really relying on the instrumental to carry these very mediocre bars to try and create this smooth vibe. That seems more like background noise than anything that I'd really pay attention to. Another thing I would have to give Pierre though is his ability to flow pretty well on some of these tracks, such as X Factor or Love Drill, seeming to complement the beat pretty well to make these overall chill and head bopping tracks, especially with the beat switch on Love Drill. That turns the energy up a bit and the bass a shit ton, Jesus Christ, and makes this one of my favorite tracks from the project. But as for the production, for the most part, it's pretty good. I mean, it is Pierre, and I've always enjoyed his beats from Magnolia with Playboy Cardi to now, seeming to not miss a step when it comes to either making a banger or a chill, more R&B inspired trap beat. But I guess if I had to say anything, it's that the bass on this project is very heavy, seeming to really drown out the vocals at times, especially on the track Moving Too Fast, just completely overtaking the track from beginning to end. And that's not the only instance of the vocals being off in this project, with the mixing seeming a bit low on some other tracks as well, which is partially why Pierre can sound so drowned out at times. But as stated before, this album does stretch out for way longer than it has to, with it seeming like the beats are really carrying the majority of this project, while Pierre's rapping just seems to fall far behind. We get some interesting beat switches and moments as well, such as on the track Hop in My Bed with the dancehall vibes to the end of the track that I did enjoy, or the beat switch on Where You Going for this more wavy trap beat with this accompanying 808s to make for a nice little vibe as well. But we also got Pierre Bourne on his Honestly Nevermind tip with the track What I Gotta Do, seeming to go for this dance trap sound with this annoyingly catchy chorus just to make for an overall annoying song that just follows up with the track DJ in the Car that just goes complete geometry dash with the beat, while we get another serving of very basic bars from Pierre. And then as for the features, I wish I could say more, but there were only 2 and they were honestly pretty forgettable, not really doing too much for their respective tracks, with Don Toliver giving this low energy verse on the track Peace Ain't that feels kind of phoned in, with the beat once again carrying the entire track. As for Young Nudie, he was on the track Moving Too Fast, which is the track that I said was completely drowned out by the heavy bass, so you already know that Young Nudie's verse could barely be heard and everything sounded muddy as hell. But for what it's worth, at least the track makes for a good amp tester. Overall, I would say I'm pretty disappointed, even for Pierre's standards, with this not really holding much of any weight in comparison to what he's put out previously. From the embarrassingly weak bars to the weird vocal mixing and underwhelming features, Good Movie is anything but, and just feels more like a bad film with a ton of budget. So to put this on the scale, I'm giving us a strong 4 out of 10, being good for the vibes, but not really for anything else. But how do you guys feel about Pierre's latest album? What would you rate it? Let me know down in the comments, like and subscribe, and follow my IG and Twitter, and follow yours as well if you like the illustrations. And on that note, I'll see you on Monday when I force Pierre to drop TLOP 6. Peace.
I swear to God, soon as I got up in the morning and sat down in front of a store, guess what jumped off the roof? A monkey. Get what he said? Did you eat breakfast this morning, Chester Stone? I said, no, Mr. Monkey. He said, here. A goddamn banana, bitch. God motherfucking damn.